Streaming, starting the live stream now. I hate how the news now just always says breaking news. Don't you hate that? Oh, God. Always says breaking news. It can be all day. Breaking news. Abortion protests going on all around the United States. You know, it's like the 6th day. Right, so we are live. All right. Wow. So oil really did drop from 108 to 105 now. Precipitously. In the last, gosh, let's see, 20 minutes. In the last 20 minutes, oil dropped $3. Some kind of movement going on there in oil. Also, the markets are looking like they're going to open well below Friday's close. However, they haven't really cracked Friday's low yet, but they're all very close. S&P 500, the Qs, and the Dow. They're all looking like they're going to test Friday's low. If they break it, that can definitely trigger a stronger move today. Down to retest potentially the low, the recent low. I think we can call it 52-week low, max low of the year. We can even just call it the low of the year. So the market continuing to look bearish, and we only got like a 2 days worth of rally on that last rally. It's pretty extraordinary when you look back at it that we even got a 2-week rally in March, as this market is just dying to crush you and to go down. Looking across other factors here, gold hanging out around 1800, but dropped to about 1794 before the open here. Rates are at 2.8%, the 10-year rates, which is roughly the low on Friday. And let's take a look at that on the bigger picture here. Rates in a pretty strong correction, possibly putting kind of a heads and shoulder type pattern. Certainly is a trend line breakdown, multiple trend line breakdown on rates, and it is causing them, the 10-year, the 5-year, and the 2-year, they are getting twisted and inverting. And whenever that happens, again, that signals recession. Has never been wrong in 100 years that when rates go inverted, recession follows. And we'll be getting some word on GDP growth this month, so that way we'll know whether or not we are for sure in a recession. And my opinion, we definitely are. That's just almost a formality. All right, so how does that affect the markets? Well, it's just bearish. Markets are bearish, and I've got alerts on lots of growth stocks, but they're not really gonna go anywhere with any conviction if the weather is holding them back. Before trading began this morning, pre-market trading, the VIX was at around 27, and now it's hitting 29.3. So situation worsening on the VIX, as indicated by the VIX. Like the VIX might pop over 30 today if the market breaks low. Look at the VIX, by the way. So as far as that sort of range that it's been in, the ping pong range, I wouldn't be adding to my shorts on the VIX until it gets up into like the mid 30s. I've already got lots of position for the next 6 months on 32, 33, 34, 35 in those areas, even 36 and 7, I believe. Yeah, close. So that's something to think about as the market potentially worsens. Is a VIX play, a VIX short. All right, and now we've got 8 minutes until the market opens, and if we're going to get anything out of this market, we've got day trading momentum movers that we're looking at, penny stocks, and then we've also got penny stock alerts to help with trying to put your money to work. And this morning we're looking at RBCN, RMED, NBEV, TYME, and TTNP. Now, just a real quick double check on RBCN because that one looks the best. I want to make sure that's not an acquisition target or something. Rubicon Technology stock jumps after Janelle announces to acquire a 45% stake. So that is an acquisition. Okay. So its move is pretty much squelched already. So I'm going to take that off of the list here. So we're really only looking at RMED and NBEV, and let's take a look at those news. RMED thinking about buying stock and blah 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 blah. No, that's not it. RS Medical stock soars 68% on FDA nod for DABRA 2 catheter, while board continues strategic review. FDA 510K clearance for the DABRA 2.0 catheter. Okay, so we have, we're going to potentially have some action in the catheters today. All right, yeah, I don't think that's going to be moving much. NBEV, let me take a look at that. Or was that the one I just looked at? No, this technology site. Okay, no, there's not news on NBEV. It was at 24 cents on Friday. It popped all the way to 37 cents, and now it's down to 29 cents. I'm not sure that there's really going to be any worthwhile movement of anything right now. OMER, let me take a look at OMER, OMER. And we've got 6 minutes before the market opens. Yeah, OMER is down from Friday. Any other picks? Anybody seeing anything popping? Yeah, Cameron? Perhaps that covers it. Yeah. All right. Well, we know how far. Oh, by the way, so since we have 5 minutes where we're not doing too much, how was everybody's 4th of July weekend? What did you guys do? Yeah, so we just went out in the town and watched our city's fireworks, and you can also, like I said, see a lot of the fireworks in a lot of other cities going at the same time. Very fun with the whole family. Did you have fireworks there, Camille? They do that over there. Can you see any? You're located. Well, I hope you all had a good 4th of July. Celebrated your freedoms. RJ says, awesome 4th here. Hung out with family, and we were able to watch the city fireworks from on top of your building. Ooh, that's cool. From a pool. Nice. And then Camille says they were canceled because the vendors screwed up. Yeah. Jeez. And then Mike says 4 days of liver abuse on a deck, on a lake, in a pool. Very nice. Be careful that liver abuse, will you? All right, we got 4.5 minutes until the market opens. Seems to have found a temporary bottom before the market opens, but oil is still going down. 104.5 now. It started this drop at about 108, and in about 30 minutes, it's dropped almost $4, so about 4%. It is likely to break the recent pivot low. So oil going quite bearish. As a matter of fact, crude already has. Oil trade really falling apart. It's good for the pump. I mean, we're down to $104 a barrel. Divide that by about 21 gallons that you can refine out of that, and you get $4.97 a gallon, as opposed to where it was hanging out at 111, $5.30. So not much relief, but some relief. It's just crazy to think that we're raising rates, into a known recession. Just think about that. And this inflation is caused by their stimulus programs, right? So it seems like the right thing to have done was raise rates instead of stimulus 2 years ago. Raise rates. I mean, we already know that this is how it works, and that this almost always ends in recession. They're destroying our country. The thing is, recession and high inflation like this, it does bring about exceptional innovation. These are the times when human beings have to be very creative, have to think their way out of this. So, it does push you into a corner, and creative human beings will eventually do very interesting things. You can't hold us back. All right, we got 1 minute and 30 seconds before the market opens. I have a whole thing I want to talk about the human creativity, but we've got 1 minute until the market opens, so let's follow that. If the Qs break Friday's low, it's a potential short trade for the day. So that's something you might think about doing if you didn't already know that. And that price would be 277. Right now we're at 278.23. All right, 30 seconds until the market opens. Okay, perfect, Camille. Yeah, it's just something interesting about robots and creativity. Human creativity. All right, 5 minutes. 2, 1. There we are. In the market here. I'm surprised no alerts are coming up. There should be some alerts coming up. That means the day might be quite negative. Okay, and the market just broke pre-market low. So that's the first signal. But that's within the first 30 seconds of trading. Much stronger signal will be which way will it break of the 5-minute opening range window. Oh, we lost Chris. I guess Chris was just checking in to say good morning. Opportunities he missed. Yeah, the market cracking down quite nicely. I mean, if you were going to build a position, a short bias today, this is one entry here, breaking the pre-market low. You build on that when it breaks 277. If it does, it's getting really close. 277.3. APRN. MTech. MTech, you guys. MTEK. Pretty extraordinary little pre-market move it's made there from 1.2 to almost $2 right now. MTech, MTEK. What else we got here? Yeah, that just moved to the top of the list. Cown. C. Yeah, that one MTech is acting pretty strong. The Qs, the lows of Friday, yes. Yeah, no, 277. That's strange. Okay. Yeah, so we did actually touch Friday's lows. So that's also potentially an entry for short on the Qs. You had the pre-market low break around 277.90, and then you had the Friday low of 277.05, and currently the price is 277.7, so it's pulled back a bit there. Okay, I'm also looking at PGen. Okay, and now the market pushing down again, being led by industrials. So here it goes. And oil now hitting 103 almost. CFT trying to get up over VWAP. This is a momentum mover. Was at 1.8 on Friday. It is at 210 roughly right now, and could potentially try to test 230, just 15% just from here. Biggest mover, PGen, 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 with the biggest change from the open, the hottest momentum, PGEN, 2.7 million shares trading. Yeah, 1.65 now. 7. And the general market, the Qs are at 277.34, and meanwhile SPY and the industrials are making new lows of the day, so the Qs are likely going to follow. Gen hitting 167. Let's take a look at the daily chart of BP Gen. So this is a bottom reversal day, so this is a big change for PGen after years, a year at least. It's turning out to be a significant day for PGen. $1.72, 74, 75. Up 8% just on that last flag break. Okay, that seems to be how much it wished to extend before consolidating right now. It was roughly 10%, and now it's consolidating. RMED trying to do its thing. Yeah. If it can break 0.51, you can start to trust it. Okay, there goes Cown, COWN. Cown moving from the open of 27.8 to now 28.8. That's almost a 4% move in just a couple of minutes. PGen continuing, hitting 177. SPY about to crack Friday's low. The Dow no, never mind. I was looking at the VIX. So SPY about to break Friday's low. Aveo, AVEO, one of our trades, just came back into action. AVEO. Basically a penny stock alert. That you could put on for almost $1 of risk. I have alerts on a lot of things, but that's the only thing that has alerted so far. PGen just broke 177 flag top and tapped 178 briefly and is pulled back though. So, that automatically implies that the timing to get in right then would have been wrong. And so therefore, it is probably not the moment in which it is going to create continuation to the upside on PGen just by logic alone, just by reasoning alone. And it also means that it's possibly a failed retest. You get a breakdown at 1.71, which would just cancel out the whole trade for hours. Cown, COWN, has now hit 29.37. COWN. Way up. It looks like it's like takeover talks from. Market not making a strong move to the downside, but it can definitely get worse. But it's grinding and creating a rough bottom. If it reverses and goes green on the day, you definitely probably want to cut any shorts under the premise that the day is going to be either choppy or it's reversed. Probably going to be choppy. All right, there goes PGen. It has crapped out. That's the failed retest neckline breakdown pattern. Trade on PGen technically over. Happened, but technically over on PGen. Tone still good. MTech looking really good. MTEK. Oil now under 103 it hit 102 and 34 cents now. Micron CEO Sanjay Mehrotra is on the CNBC right now, and he says he sees signs of weakening. Those kinds of reports will always lag 3 to 6 months because that's coming from revenues. Yep. MTech looking really good, guys. It's about to break $2. Max says, I feel like when the media all starts finally admitting we are in trouble is around the time the market turns around. And that's absolutely true. Yes. It depends on what the reports will say, but when you start to hear when the main what's the word, narrative across the entire media, like the majority narrative, not a little far corner conspiracy theory, but when the main narrative is why the hell would you ever put money in the stock market? The thing's going to zero. You hear that, total anarchy, end of the world. Uh, that's the time to get in. That's the bottom, typically. So you're totally right on that. Yep, exactly. And we're not there yet. The VIX for that we need the VIX to hit like the way things have been going, 40s. We need to get into the 40s for us to have that kind of a sentiment. About let's see, 2.5 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we hit a point where of all the stocks on the S&P 500, only 10% of them were still above their 200 moving averages. 90% were below. And so that's a pretty strong point to get to. But right now, for example, 20% are above the 200 moving and 80% are below. And we got as high as 25% with 75% below like a week ago. So things are not in bad shape right now compared to where we were 2.5 weeks ago. Right? Yeah, Camille. Another thing that's interesting about what Elon Musk said was, I think it was a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it was about a week ago. Oh, by the way, the Qs have reversed, guys, so that short trade's no longer a good idea. Both because it's at least reversed, and at worst case now means the market's just going to be choppy. So it means no direction, which is bad for trading. So anyway, a couple of weeks ago or recently, Elon Musk said that he thinks that we're heading towards a very strong recession. You have to understand the reason he says that is because he knows you have to stay on top of ordering, let's say, at minimum raw materials in order to keep up with demand, making cars, and if he's saying strong recession, a couple weeks ago, I think it's probably because he's been seeing, that they have to tamp things down. I mean, he started some layoffs. Just the fact that he says that, anything about that is kind of a leading indicator to me. And by the way, if we go over to Tesla's earnings are on July 20th. July 20th. So they're in 15 days. Now Tesla has had positive earnings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last 5 quarters in a row. But I think there's a very good chance that this next one's going to be down. Next one's going to be negative. Or a surprise miss. Now PGen is trying again, yeah. But did have that breakdown. It's definitely risky. Could be filled with fake outs for a while. Hard to say. Usually it looks like M-Tech somewhat failing out as well. Then Cone has topped. And the markets have topped off of that little bottom reversal bounce. So we could be in for chop from here, or this could be establishing a downtrend or a sideways trend. So far, it feels like a weekday, but nah. Large projected volume on the ETFs. But this is only 21 minutes into the session, so that reading could be off because it's predictive based on projecting out from current levels. Typically high at the open. OCFT failing out. And what was up with? Almost looking good. Alert that one. Trader alerts, not swing 100, but it's kind of a swing 100 style trade with the caveat that not completely confirmed on all firing on all thrusters. Cort. C-O-R-T. Out of PGen, can't hold the 1.7 pivot. Yeah. Yeah, the day like today, a chop day. I mean, we can already see it. It's here. Possibly we grind down further, but it's at least a chop day so far. Just take it small. Don't be using your usual size, and perhaps even just stay out. Court. The other thing I wanted to look at here. Looks like a VEO trade working out. I think that was $1 risk. Oh yes, way up and above, breaking out. About 20 cents from our entry. 10 cents from our entry, but that makes a big difference. Anybody else get into that one? AVEO. Yeah, that's a pretty good breakdown on crude. I don't feel like shorting it because it's been so hot lately, but if anybody short on crude, kind of indicated at this point, you could use UCO, or there might be an inverse crude oil ETF opposite of Gush. I can't remember it. Can't remember it. Drip. I think it's drip. Let's see. Bearish. Yeah, that's it. Drip. Yes. So drip might be the a potential trade to play oil bearish. It's definitely at a very interesting, precarious point here on drip. Dig and Doug. That's great. And Doug also. Somehow I think that, let's take a look at Doug again. Oh, you can take a little bit of both. That and the chart trader alerts. There we go. Sent that alert out. Dig and Doug and drip and gush. All right. I think that this is just going to hold from here. Keep an eye on my alerts. Let's meet up in the group. See you in there. Have a good morning, everybody. Thanks, Randy. Hey, thanks, everybody. Man, thank you guys. Be on top of this market every day here till it turns around. The talk? Oh, all right. Okay, yeah, real quick. Okay, here's a little talk. Yeah. So, on my bottom right of my screen, if you can see it, is if you can see it, something called Dolly 2. And basically you can type in whatever you want for this artificial intelligence algorithm to create a piece of art or an image. It could be an image of any kind, and it will create it. And it tends to be better than we can do. Like 99.9% of human beings. I mean, there's probably some very, very creative artists out there who can do something of a higher artistic quality, but it will take them, could take them a day or two. This software or this artificial intelligence algorithm can do it in a split second, and it can give you like 20 alternates. It's amazing. Let's see if I can get another. And you haven't looked at it, if you don't know anything about it, examples, but so you could here's one that's kind of interesting. You type something like teddy bears underwater playing with retro PC circuit boards, and the computer makes that what you're seeing right there, like instantly. That doesn't exist. Like it's not borrowing that. Created it. I want to call it imagination. So you can use something like that. Let me see wait, hang on. We got an alert here. So you can use something like that, for example, in Hollywood. Here's one application. In Hollywood, before they make a movie, they do something called previs, which is pre-visualization. So they essentially would use to storyboard the whole movie. Oh yes, RMED making a really sharp turn upward right now, guys. RMED, RMED. Glad you caught that, RJ. About to break pre-market highs. Really hot right now. So you can storyboard your entire movie like that. Now, another thing you could do uh, is eventually you can imagine this in video, in motion. The next step is just type in, teddy bears swimming underwater with circuit boards, playing with retro circuit boards or whatever, right? And then now it's a movie, right? It's a simulated movie, whatnot. And we've got to the point where we can scan in, our faces, our things, that we've ever written, like, Facebook messages, or everything, all the way through our whole life, everything we've ever written, all of our thoughts, all of our thinking, all our whatever. And a computer can recreate you. Start to put a lot of this together, and the fact that we're kind of moving into VR, it means that the environment that we're in is becoming increasingly where we don't even need to build it. Okay. And then in real life, we have those parallels going on as well. A lot of so that's why it brings me to robots, right? So robots are starting to automate lots of jobs that we used to have at an increasingly accelerated rate. And this algorithm here could make, for example, symphonies, music. And at a certain point, music will look as good as the artwork that it does. The artwork it does is fantastic. And what it's doing is it's being creative. It is being creative at a certain point. But what I realized was, for example, as far as artists go, let's say you wanted a commission. People with money want to commission artwork. I need something for my wall. I want it to be an oceanscape, and but in the style of Picasso or something. So you would hire an artist. You reach out to the art community. You'd find whoa, hang on, guys, gold is dropping. Gold is dropping pretty strong. That's interesting. Anyway, you'd find an artist, commission them. A couple months later, in some cases, sometimes even a year later, you get your artwork back. Now you can just type it in. So what does that mean? It means there's going to eventually, here, when they really refine this, which it already is at quite the tipping point, there will be no need for artists. Seriously, there'll be no need for, because you can just type it in. Like, that'll be beneath, like, in other words, computers will be able to provide that service that art provides the world, other than, of course, social commentary and stuff like that. But I mean, just from a purely artistic standpoint, like, if you have a need for art, there you go. You can get that. So what does that do? It means, okay, so pursuing a line of work in that area will become, horse and buggy. It's amazing to think that art would become horse and buggy to humans, only because computers can now do it better, faster, maybe not better, but equally as good, but way faster. So it makes it 99% unnecessary for humans to do that anymore. We still have horse and buggies, but it's 99.9% unnecessary for humans. What does it do? It frees us up. So it's actually a positive. I mean, you might think of that as a negative, but actually frees us up to be tapped creatively. Like, all we have left at that point, if we can't just do the grunt work of creating art, because now that's been replaced by computer algorithms or whatnot, what do you have left? Well, we have to think of new frontiers, new things, not just new art, but new categories. Human creativity will probably still continue to be our greatest asset, is what I'm trying to get at. No matter how much innovation replaces us. However, it does make me think that Therefore, if human creativity is our most valuable asset, it does make me realize that a good portion, maybe 90% or more, of human beings really don't have future because a lot of them just don't care to do anything like that. So it's very interesting discussion, and that's all I'm saying. Ambidextrous oil painting and circular breathing. Interesting. That up for him. Oh, cool. All right, you guys. Have a good morning. Watch RMED. Seems to be happening. RMED. That was my I don't know, half-formed, half-baked discussion about human creativity. Yeah, I think that is Benny's work. On coffee, I can do much better. It reminds me of the silly walk. Is that all it is? It's just a two full steps and a half turn twist. Well, I think with a government grant, I could do much better and be much sillier. All right, you guys.